Why men are tired, numb, and checked out. Blame the red X screen. You're doing everything that you can think of. You're working hard, you're staying connected, you're always on. But your mental sharpness isn't there like it quite used to be. What's going on? Deep down, you're exhausted, you're numb, you can't focus, and you can't perform like you used to be able to. What if the real reason isn't your job, it isn't your age, and it isn't the stress that you're succumbing to? What if it's something different? What if it's the screens that you're living behind these days? What if that's at the core of your problem, especially the explicit matter, whether that be porn proper or on sexualized media? Today, I'm going to show you the hidden effects of explicit digital burnout. I'm going to teach you how social media, especially sexualized, is tanking your brain juice, and more importantly, what you can do about it. So if you want to reclaim your motivation, your energy, your sharpness, and your zest for life, you're in the right place. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, cognitive neuroscientist, and I'm on a mission to help men reclaim their masculine vitality and get back on purpose in their life. Step out from behind the screen, free your brain from explicit content, and get back to the things that you love, your passion, your purpose, your relationships, your work. I want you to get back to the life that you have always wanted and you deserve. So if you're ready to rewire your brain for clarity and success, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can stay with me, and let's get going. You're not lazy. You're not weak. This is a brain thing. So you might think that this burnout and this numb feeling and this feeling off is an emotional state for you. And that's true. It is affecting how you show up in the world. But at the core, we're talking about brain dysfunction, neurological dysregulation, and the disruption in your brain and nervous system. Now that's the real problem. How you're showing up in the world, that's just a symptom. So whether you know it or not, going back to the screen, especially explicit content, or seeking and scrolling for hypersexualized media, this is a dopamine behavior. Now, dopamine, it's known as the molecule of motivation, more, and pleasure. So inherently, it motivates you back for more and more scrolling to try to find that one image or scene that lights your brain up and makes it feel good. So for some people, it's drama. Some people, it's violence. For some people, it's funny images. But for many men today, it's sexualized media. What you're probably not aware of is that every time you go for that digital overstimulation and that dopamine flood in your brain, you're actually reinforcing those dysfunctional patterns in your brain, what I call the pendulum effect. The pendulum effect makes the brain energy that you're using swing back and forth between very fast speed and extra slow speed. That makes you feel wired and tired. You can actually feel wired and tired at the same time, and your brain swings back and forth like a pendulum. And you know how a pendulum works. As far as it swings out to the one side of feeling wired, it's going to swing out equally as far to the other side, tired. And now you're walking around stressed out, anxious, overwhelmed, exhausted, burnt out, fatigued with brain fog. Your classic pendulum effect that shows up as what I call strained brain. That strain in your nervous system, it creates tension. And guess what that tension makes you want to do? You guessed it. Go back to the screen for more dopamine. This is inherently what's called a negative feedback loop in terms of neuroscience. It's the downward spiral, and it keeps you hooked. So constant digital stimulation is not harmless. Hear this. It is at the core of increasing levels of anxiety and stress, of ADHD symptoms, lack of focus, distractibility. It's at the core of mood dysregulation, anger and irritability, and it's even causing erectile dysfunction and what I call SAD, sexual arousal dysfunction in all flavors. Maybe you can't perform with your partner or you can't enjoy the experience for sure. This is SAD. This is from the constant digital overstimulation, especially from sexualized media. So you're left with dopamine depletion, emotional flatness, and the need to go back for more. Interestingly, everything that I'm telling you is supported by science. There's scientific studies that show that increases in stress, burnout, depression, and physical changes in terms of arousal all have to do with that seeking and scrolling from social media use. All of the mental health challenges increase the more you seek and scroll. Another study showed, especially during and after COVID-19, that mental fatigue went through the roof. Difficulty having positive emotional affect, that means feeling good, that also increased. And the need to go back for more dopamine. Stress and anxiety were considered mediators, which means the more stressed out a person felt, the more they would go to the screen, which caused that downward spiral to keep going. More and more stress, more and more screen use. More screen use, more stress.